Hi, welcome to Mom Life Today, and I'm Tracy. And moms, you know the greatest way to remember and learn how to be a really good mom is to hear from other moms who've gone ahead of you and who've been there and who've made mistakes and who've done the right thing, and you can learn. So what we're going to do today, I want to introduce you to Judy Rossi. And Judy has written a couple of books, and she has spoken all over the world about motherhood and parenting, but we get to have her to ourselves. So welcome, Judy. We're glad you're here.
Good to be here. Thank you for having me, Tracy.
And I'm going to ask you a question about gardening.
Okay.
Now that probably threw you off, but you sort of have this philosophy that raising children is a lot like gardening. So can you explain to those moms what you mean by that?
Okay. Well, I love to garden, and you can't take different plants and plant them in the same soil. Some plants need different soils, some plants need different temperatures, different light, and our kids are very much the same way. Each child is an individual, much like different kinds of plants. So one child may need a little more light-hearted approach as opposed to a heavier approach or like a heavier soil. And one child may need a little more discipline, like a plant might need a little more care and guidance. Some kids are more responsive to encouragement, where other kids go off on their own, and like plants, they can just grow up a vine and grow totally unattended. Not that you would not attend your children by any stretch, but you can watch them bloom and blossom just by being on having that tether out a little more, where some children need to be a little tethered in a little more. So that's the way I see gardening and child rearing. They're so different that they need to be tended to differently, which means you have to be able to observe them and assess them, just like you do your plants.
That is amazing advice. And you know, there are far too many of us that kind of get in this cookie cutter mode.
Yeah.
And we don't figure out why child number 2 isn't doing the same thing as child number 1. It makes so much sense, Mom. So think of your children the way you would think of gardening. Find out what that child needs by observing, and then give that child what they need so they can bloom and grow.
Amen. Remembering that no plants are the same.
That is awesome. Great advice, and we will see you next week on Mom Life Today. Bye, Moms.